I have given it much thought. It seems disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men. We must expand, get more pupils, so that the knowledge will spread.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired.
We gotta lay cool.
We tired of being cool, man. Every time we turn around, you telling us to be cool. Shit, man, we tired. The same thing, be cool. We be too cool, we gonna lose.
Ooh, what's up, YouTube? It's your guy HQ, and I'm chilling with my bro up top, Hardwell. I mean, right here, and then the one and only worldwide Mayberry. Happy birthday, my guy! What it do?
Word. Happy birthday, bro. Many
Thanks,
more.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Word up.
Come back like Jordan, wearing the 4-5. It ain't to play games with you.
Huh? Well, with that, off a nice weekend. How was your weekend, my guys?
I'm still on vacay.
Heard you.
My
Will?
weekend was okay. Took a tough loss yesterday in the championship. Came in second place. But we back at it next weekend. And I just told my guys, I like what I see. We just didn't finish, But we came back in the playoff game down 14 at halftime. And only thing I didn't like, we had a 14-point lead and wound up still losing in the championship. So that goes to show, man, never take your foot off the gas. And I'm just looking forward what they're gonna do next season. And that's about it, man. I'm back home. Was happy to be home, see my family, But that's about it.
Yeah, I was having such a great time. We decided to extend this day one more day. Let's go stay one more day.
That one more day shit can keep going on and on.
And the cool part we didn't have to switch rooms like we thought we was gonna have to switch. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
We still would have got the same kind of suite, but we just had to move the stuff from one room to another room. So that was cool that we didn't have to do that. One more day. That was it. Let's stay one more day. Let's max and relax and be Taurus. See Orlando.
Enjoy it, bro.
I know I'm stuffed. I'm beyond stuffed. All we did was eat out here. Eat.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I got to get my shit together when I get back home. I really got to shred some pounds, big time.
I've been in the gym heavy lately. My arms are getting crazy. I've been working out like a beat.
My body hurt right now.
I'm just doing it for arms though, like arms and I'm going for that OG body of the year next summer. I'm coming out. but you start off, L. Let me tell you how you start off. You know what I'm saying? You still play. I mean, not saying you gotta love ball. You gotta I play ball still, but it ain't either that or you gotta just run, get up in the morning, run. And I got a couple of tips for you. Like my pops and a lot of my family members take black seed. And what it does is in the morning, it coats your appetite. So you can eat like food, drink some water and be good until lunchtime. So when you missing out on one meal, that helps you. Because it's hard to break yourself from waking up being hungry every morning because they say breakfast is the most important meal.
Yeah, so I do it the opposite. I make sure, I'm a chef, so, and, I done went through.
See, you just said it right there. You just said it. He just hit it on the head. He said, I'm a chef. That's why your ass, you eat your own cooking.
Nah. You
Boy.
know, like this is from being lazy though. This is from being on these pods, drinking. Yeah, Rome, I'm in Orlando. Shout out to my boy Gardner Knicks. Tone whoa, came through like a champ for his boy. You know what I mean?
Woo.
Woo.
So what I
Woo.
do is what I do is, you know, I could do everything. I know the portion size that we're supposed to have. You know, but don't you know how you know. So, but breakfast, I just make sure that I eat that, and I eat a heavy lunch, and then I eat a light dinner because that's the part that everybody, you know, you got to learn how to do it in them reps. So that dinner has to be light, and you got to stick to your portions. Part of your portions is your 4 ounce starch, 4 ounce vegetables, and 6 ounces of protein. Now people look at that sizes and the sizes of the cup and say, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to be full." But your body, believe it or not, if you eat that and you eat that whole meal, you will be full. You know. And then what I like to do for breakfast time when I'm on my diet stuff is I eat hard boiled eggs. I just take the yolk out the middle. So I get 2 hard boiled eggs, take the yolk out the middle. You know, sometimes I cheat. I eat 4 pieces of bacon as opposed to 2 pieces of bacon. You know, I'm just a bacon lover, so every now and then I cheat. And shout out to the chat. So, oh, my man Chop in the building. What's up, Chop? No,
Uncle Chop, what
Chop
it
low.
do?
Rome Far Rock. Rome, you out here in Orlando? If so, Strapper Dawn, what's up, broski? Geraldine came in the building early. She was in the building early. Saquon, he was in the building early. Frederick, everybody
Yes,
was in the
sir.
building early. Shout out to the chat. Be civilized just came
SKF
through.
still
What's up,
Nick fans,
broski?
what it do? Be civilized, what it
Ron in the
do?
building. Yes. We got a dope show
So
for y'all
the
tonight.
link
Definitely gonna
will
talk
be
about.
coming out soon. Don't worry. The link will be coming in soon, so y'all can come in
Yeah,
soon.
we got
Don't
a
worry.
dope show. We're gonna be talking about definitely talking about the fight. For those who didn't catch the fight, it was a fight on last night. Tank Davis versus Isaac
Cruz.
Now his
Cruz.
name ain't
Pitbull. I just call him Pitbull.
Diaz.
No, it's
No,
Cruz.
Isaac Cruz.
Oh, Cruz Pitbull. Yeah, my bad, Cruz.
He's supposed to have fought somebody else, and then Isaac Pitbull Cruz
Cruz,
was a
yeah, Isaac
replacement.
Pitbull
He was
Cruz.
supposed to fought in the undercard, and it was another
I saw the
undercard
fight.
that came on. It was I saw the fight, one eye open like this.
No, I saw that
I
fight.
could
They
not.
kept me wide awoke. Then I was up anyway because I told you we lost in the championship, so I was up.
So it was on your mind, right? Yeah.
I was up, but that fight kind of,
Sorry.
I went to sleep good because that was a good fight, and I like the fact that he he won the fight even by breaking his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and if he didn't win the last round or the last couple rounds, he probably could have lost that fight.
Could have. The fight I also liked was the fight that was in the fight that was before that. I can't pronounce that guy's
Oh,
name. He tore
my God, love.
Fondua, Fudua,
Oh, you talking
Fundua.
about the 6'6" fighter?
Yeah, yo, I seen him fight earlier hard, and I said, man, this dude, the way how his punches, his angles, and you know, he's tall, but he's so precise on his arsenal. You know, he's real precise, and I like the way how he fight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I like the way how he fight, and I was happy that he was on that card because I haven't seen him for a while. You know, the pandemic came, I haven't seen him for a while, but I liked him as a fighter. I just feel like he might get the Tower Inferno. Yeah, yeah, Rome, that's his name. Um, his I like how he throw punches, and his punches he throws them so sharp, you know, and he hits his target. And I like fighters that fight the way he fight. You know, I just feel he's too tall, and it's going one good punch will probably knock him down. But he seemed to have a nice little decent chin. But like the commentators say, he every fight he get he take that one shot that'll daze him. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take them
That's
kind of
good.
shots like that,
I mean, as
huh?
far as him taking a punch, he definitely could take a punch. You got to
Yeah,
remember,
he definitely take a punch.
it's not gonna be too many boxers that's gonna be able to be up there where he is. So, you know, they probably not hitting them the same way. Then you gotta remember the bone coming at you. Like his arm is muscle, but it's mainly bone. So you gotta
Hmm.
remember the bone coming at you is a strong punch. Everybody think the muscle but that bone. Why you think slim dudes used to always be knockout artists? because that bone, bro, that long dude, he was hitting that dude with a jab that was serious.
Mm-hmm.
That
But
jab
homeboy
would have
came to fight
knocked
too.
a lot of dudes out.
So shout out Sergio Garcia. He came to fight too,
And
though. He wasn't no. He
and
wasn't
he
no
a
slouch.
lefty, L.
Yeah, and he a southpaw. Yep. So that was a good fight. And then the Devontae Davis fight. You
No, but
know,
what about Love, my dude that fought before the tall
I
dude?
didn't see that one.
Yeah,
That's
that's the dude.
the Bronx or something, right?
No,
He's
no,
from the
no.
Bronx, right?
No, he's from that's the dude who got the beauty salon and he got the beauty salon, the nail salon. He got the movie bus. He doing his thing. I think he's from, and I don't want to say where he's from, but his name got Love in it. I seen him in his last fight.
That was
Very
the
good
cruiserweight
box.
division. That was the cruiserweight division. That fight was the cruiserweight. That fight.
Let me tell you his name. But yeah, man, like that dude is knocking dudes right out. He did that in 2 fights in a row. For real. He did that 2 fights in a row. And
Mm-hmm.
for him to do that at that, like, he not fighting though. That last fight, them dudes is coming in on him. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this about the Tank fight, thinking about what happened in the Love fight, right? Yeah, it's Montana Love, his name is. And
Montana Love.
yeah, and he fought Carlos Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
like
didn't
I
see that
say,
fight. That was the fight. That was the fight before.
yo,
That was
watch
the fight
that clip.
before the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could if you could see it, watch it, or watch the clips and then watch his last fight. He fought this dude that was just coming in, L, just like
Mm-hmm.
Isaac, the pit bull dude, right? But his corner told him like, "Yo, stop playing, hit him with that shot," just like how kind of like.
Oh, hard. We lost you.
You good,
Shout
Will?
out Big S. Shout
Yes.
out Big SC.
I can't hear me.
All right, now we can. Now
Now,
we can.
now you faded out
Oh,
for a
my
minute.
bad.
Now we can hear you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was saying the same way that Isaac the Pitbull was coming in, and Montana Love had similar last fight like that, and his corner was telling him like, stop playing, like time to like stop, like turn it up, and it looked like that's the same thing Tank did when he had a strategy to move around for a while and then go into his standstill going forward, which was smart because I was wondering why when Floyd was talking to him so much before the fight. And I say Floyd ain't the type of dude to be doing that to try to show off because that's money made. He don't got to do that. It must have been something important he was trying to really tell Tank and was going back and forth with him like, yo, I'm telling you, don't brawl with this dude. I'm telling you, don't brawl with this dude. And I'm telling you like this, if Tank didn't listen, Tank might have caught an L last night. And they asked Tank right after the fight, would you fight him again? And he said, hell no,
Hell
within
no.
1.3
Hell
seconds
no.
when they asked him. He didn't have to
And not
think
because
about the answer.
not because he's worried about losing to him, but because he was in the war. That's why.
I ain't
And he
gonna
don't want
front.
to
It
go.
looked like he was in too much of a like respecting that guy too much, and that could have backfired on him, even though he broke his hand and still beat him. So I got to give Tank his props, but too much respect could get you beat.
I don't want to forget about Devin Haley that fought Saturday night.
Oh,
It was
Devin
good.
Haney had a good fight.
Haney, yeah. I just want to make a quick side note for those who watch boxing, and I see Rome. He a big boxing fan. Jay Bugs just came in the building. We gonna let y'all in. We just talking about the fight, so you can let him in, heck, and
All
we
right.
just pass
I'm
it
put the
around.
link
But
in the
I want to
chat.
talk about the Devin Haley situation. It was a moment in that corner when his corner man was giving him instructions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard a fighter say this that I heard him say. He said,
Who
"What if it
corner,
ain't
Haney?
Haney, yeah. Devin
Oh.
Haney." He said his corner was giving him directions, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
told him to do whatever, right? I can't, I'm paraphrasing right now. Let's just say they told him uh, uh, jab, hook, or whatever. Let's just say that.
Uh-huh.
But he said, so when they tell him, they giving him instructions, he says, and he looks at them, he says, "What if it ain't there?" And then they proceeded to give him plan B. And notice there's not too many there's not too many fighters that ask that question because it's usually the trainer just telling him what to do. You know, that they was talking to Tank last night. He got 2 trainers that they co-trainers now that he brought on to help train him.
His
And
father brought them on. So
who?
probably that's why he have a Haney Pops. He said that. I heard that. I don't know if I heard that. I heard that somewhere. Haney Pops
Yeah,
brought on.
Ron said that's his
Haney Pops
pops.
brought on some other trainers, so that makes him be like that. You know what I'm saying? When his pops bring them on, if he could ask his pops, he gonna ask them trainers too. Like, what it like questions? Like he's a smart fighter. Like he's like
Haney, right? Devin Haney.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
strategically calculated with his shit. You know what I'm saying? And like that's a question I would expect him to ask because he's not knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna beat you like kind of like I was saying about Tank, how Tank went into that whole Mayweather shit. Like he had to go into that Mayweather shit because of the simple fact that you did not want to brawl with that pit bull, and you wonder why that man named himself Pitbull. You name yourself AKA Pitbull, nigga. It's like you don't know who you fighting. You're like, what's his name? Isaac Pitbull. What?
Isaac.
Tank probably said Pitbull. Let me see this dude fight. Yo, man, listen. And he went in there and had to prepare for that shit. Come on, son. If I was fighting somebody named Pitbull, I'd be like, man, listen, had a gun in the corner, son. For real.
Seriously. That's like finding somebody that's wearing black uptowns.
I want to get Pitbull his pops, right? But me as a good boxing fan, Tank figured him out around I'm gonna say it about the 6th or 7th round. He figured him out. He knew his speed. He was able to go under the punches, so he figured him out. So had he not hurt his hand and he couldn't throw, because he was still throwing his hand in the 6th, but he wasn't throwing it in it. And shame on the commentators for not picking that up. And then you picked it up at the end of the fight, and then you said, "Oh,
he played a good job at hiding it."
Let me finish, so I can tell you why I say shame on them, because I've been picked that up. Even Pitbull picked it up. He said that he didn't throw he stopped. He noticed he hurt his hand in the 5th round, and I say shame on the commentators because he been fighting for one hand way before the referee came to the corner and asked him about his hand, but way before the corner started talking about his hand in the corner. And then they act like he was doing something in that 12th round, but pay attention to the fight. He was already doing that. Oh, he's having such a great fight. Oh, this 12th round by Tank Davis. Stop it. Because if you paid attention to the fight, he was already doing that with one hand. You know, he was just picking his shots when he chose to pick his shots because he had already figured out the tempo of Pitbull when Pitbull was coming in. You know, he was hitting him and he was just barely missing that uppercut. It was glancing off the glove and then hitting the face. So that's why I say shame on the commentators, because when you commentate, you got to see it, and then you can't be biased or pick up on something because you doing too much talking that you fail to pay attention to what was going on in the fight. So that's why I say shame on them, because they picked up in that 12th round, and all of a sudden now he's having such a great fight. Like stop it. So that's why I'll say shame on them hard. You know what I'm saying?
I think he did that. Like when he broke his hand, he changed his strategy. But I tell you like this: if he didn't change his strategy, he could have caught an L. I'm keeping it real with you, because that's why Mayweather was telling him not to go out there with that shit, and his plan was not to come right out there with it. But eventually he was when he started doing it. It worked it a little bit, but you got to understand, dude kept coming forward. If a dude keep coming forward and you do that, and think about what Tank said before the fight, it's 2 guys that's going to keep coming forward. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen when that happens? Somebody's going to get hit.
How many times he caught him with that check? How many times he caught him with the check hook? You know, and the check hook was there for the knockout. And also homeboy kept crouching down and like charging into him. That's why you kept seeing Tank put his weight on him. You know what I'm saying?
But if you pay attention what they said, his hand been hurt since training camp.
Yeah, I heard his corner say that after the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they know that was already a problem with his hand if that's the case. They just was trying to disguise it. That could be the reason why his whole plan was to fight the fight a little different and throw a little disguise to turn it on a little bit. Maybe his hand didn't hurt, but maybe he re-injured it in the fight.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a good, however the strategy was, it was a dope fight. It was action-packed. It definitely action-packed for a Sunday night. I don't know when they're going to start doing a Sunday night.
Nah, I ain't like the Sunday shit, but it was a good fight. I think the strategy was built off of a reaction like of the hand being re-injured, but knowing maybe like, yo, if this hand get re-injured, because I never see Tank fight a fight where he punching and trying to move so much. Like as much as he was moving like
Yeah,
not
the
Floyd,
box.
but trying to move like Floyd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, he
You
was.
saw
And
you saw the fight, DSJ?
Yeah, I saw the fight. First off, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to this panel, the bros and everything. L,
you already
Hard
know,
Will, Project
bro.
Nerd.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
happy birthday, L. Listen for your. I got your present already. I got a lap dance from Lizzo for you. So just send me the Addy so I'll send it your
Shout out
way.
Stephen Fox in the building.
Foxy, what it do, Foxy?
Okay.
Foxy, what's good, my guy? Shout out Steven Fox.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, everybody should be getting those type of things.
Um.
DSJ.
Again, the fact that it was a throw-in fight,
They said they're gonna give me a
5 weeks
lap
of prep.
dance from Lizzo.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sacrifice.
Hex said, you don't want it? Here, take it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Hex said, you don't want it, L? I'll take
That's
Like
a
you
it.
said, hope
fact,
not
bro.
with the butt. Hope not with the butt suit.
That's a hey.
First one to send me the Addy. You know what I mean? But listen, after I think Tank figured him out after round 3. Cruz was very aggressive in the first 2 rounds. I think the problem was again when you're aggressive but you're missing shots and the biggest shots are coming from the other opponent and you're not able to counter. That set him back because I think if he was able to hit him, he probably would have gotten more points. That fight was very close. Um, and I think about the 4th or 5th round, it looked like Tank is well, that's really when Tank hurt his hand because I saw the switch up then. The 6th round, I think it just again it might have affected him to where you know how some people can kind of fight through an injury or fight through some pain. I think the 6th round might have been where it's like okay, yeah, that's too much. And again, we're talking about a guy that what I'm saying he's been aggressive the entire time. To where again, to your point, he was putting his weight on them a little bit more. Tank is the type of guy that wants to kind of stand in the middle and throw them shots with you. This fight it seemed just like Will said, it was a lot more movement from Tank, especially in those latter rounds. Um, Overall, I feel like again the judges got it right. I think again,
I
it's one
think
thing
so
to be
too.
aggressive, but it's another thing to be aggressive and accurate. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case for Isaac Cruz. But again, he put up a great fight. And I think one thing that they said was even if he didn't get the win, a star was born. I think a lot of people are going to start watching out for Isaac Cruz now.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that too.
Oop,
Yeah.
got
And
somebody.
I want to give Tank his credit and his just dues. Um, he definitely is boxing's star right now. You know what he's doing. He is the number one boxer in boxing. You know, him and I think I was have to say Tyson Fury would be one A and one A. I think they'll probably do the same amount of numbers when it comes time to the arenas. Because Tank is on a tour. I mean, he's going from Atlanta to 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 um to LA, you know what I mean, to the Garden. So it don't matter. He's selling out wherever he go, and he's the cash cow right now. So he's
Yeah,
definitely the boxer that everybody wanted to fight. And it was
He
good that
sold
he
out
paid
the
attention. He said
Staples
that.
Center.
Yeah, he said that at the end when he called them out and said, "None of them, you know what I mean? None of them want this smoke. I beat them all."
I'm gonna be honest though. I think one thing after the performance that both him and Tank and Haney had, if I'm Haney, I'm not looking at Compassos. I'd be looking at Tank. The reason I say that isn't because I feel like they're on the same level, but you know how sometimes you want to test your metal against the absolute best. I think the way that Haney fought for him to be as young as 23 and have the composure and the skill set that he has, where he looks like a fighter that's been doing it for a longer period of time, I would love to see that fight at whether it's now or I'm saying in the future, in the near future. I don't care about the Compassos fight. I would want to see that Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis as long as he stays in that weight class.
And see, Canelo is probably the pound for pound fighter, but he's not the cash cow. The cash cow is Tank Davis. Tank Davis is the high earner in boxing right now with Tyson Fury coming in. See, the thing is, that contract that Canelo got, they had to end up blowing that contract up because of him and De La Hoya big differences. So they had to blow that contract up. And Dawson wasn't making. They gave him all the bread. They wasn't making no bread. So that $300 million contract wasn't that. So Tank is the cash cow. Tyson Fury is number 2. Canelo is more than likely number 3. And you can go down the line and pick another fighter if you want to pick another fighter.
I mean, you gotta remember though, it's about. I hate to say it, but it's true. These fighters that come from out of the country or different places, they get the more money, kind of sort of. Tank he sold out that arena, so you got to look at it like that. He did the Staples. I think he did. What was that last one? That
State Farm,
Baltimore.
Out in Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah, it was Atlanta. Yeah, it was Atlanta. My bad. It was Atlanta. So I think it goes by that. By like when you sell out those big arenas, but you got to remember fan base. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it. He getting bigger because he's winning on that level, on that scale, like being the best fight on the card. You know what I mean? He's winning like that. He's gaining fans. But you can tell by, for instance, last night when the fans was going crazy and they never even really saw that dude, but that was like, his people that support. You know what I mean? So when you're a black boxer,
yeah.
No, but I'm saying in general, that's how it's gonna be when you fighting like fighters that's not African American boxers. I hate to say it like that because it's a dead sight, or fighters from the United States.
Well, I mean, last night was you in LA, so you in the pro. You Mexican, so you in the Mexican crowd. You in partial. You in LA.
But it's so like that in State Farm in Atlanta the same way. Remember that?
I would have, for him.
Yeah, because of the simple fact, the point I'm making. It depends on who you fighting. You could be the best fighter.
It depends on who you fighting. It depends on who you fighting.
Because people stand out. People support more than other races. It seems like in these sports.
Yeah, I mean, they get on the back of their fighters because they have
any cultural relations.
Yeah, they make it seem like Mexicans versus blacks that night in the damn arena, man.
I mean, if you want to look at it like that, yeah.
Sometimes
not saying I'm looking, I'm just giving an example, Al.
No, like I get what you're saying, but when you look at the first time, Wilder fought Fury, they did the same thing, and even Wilder fought Fury the second time around, they tried to gauge it that way as well, and market it that way as well. So what you said has a lot of validity to it, Will.
But that's a good example.
What about when Mayweather fought against Ricky Hatton? You had all of them come from over there to come over here, and they was chatting.
Oh God!
And that's another good example. You know why? Because Floyd is at the top, and that still happened. So that goes to show. Like, you know what I mean? We'll stick up for you, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna support you the way those coaches support you. You know what I mean? Those races.
For me, I mean, I think it makes a great. You feed off of that, and then it makes a great fight. And I think what the difference between Tank and Canelo lately is that his fights is more entertaining, and people always gonna go for the more entertaining boxer when he's in there, he's slugging with these guys because he had fights. His last 3 fights have been great fights where guys was getting up in, pause, but they was getting up in them. You know what I mean? And for him to come back and knock them dudes out. And even last night he was fighting with one hand. So I think boxing fans as a whole, we like to see a fight like that. We like to see somebody go in there and stand toe to toe and get in there and box. The thing with Canelo, how he kind of fell from the top pedestal is because a lot of fighters he fighting are pretty much bums, and he hasn't been in the ring with a class boxer for the last 3 years. I'm gonna say since he fought Triple G. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been in there with a class boxer at all. He hasn't even been in the ring with B or C class boxers. He's fighting boxers that you never even heard of before. And then you want the general public to go out there and pay for a pay-per-view fight, $60, $70 for this. I never even heard of this guy. You know, you never even, you ain't even got no you ain't got no highlights of these guys.
But the
These guys
pit
ain't even
bull
heard of.
was a replacement too.
But the Pitbull was already fighting. He already was fighting. He's somebody. So he already was fighting on the card already hard.
Yeah,
See what
but
I'm
he's
saying?
still a replacement. It's like
He's
if
only
I would have brought the Tank Davis tickets versus the other fighter, right? And now if I don't know about Pitbull, who am I getting? Even though he showed up, don't get me wrong. I'm saying as a fan, as a customer, you know what I'm saying? The
I
boxing
mean, I
situation with
I
that is
knew
kind of
I
like
seen Pitbull fight his last two fights, and but like I said, he was supposed to be fighting on the undercard. So he actually was before he was supposed to have been the pre-fight, the pre-main event.
you know
So
who he
you
was
don't
fighting?
nah. So you don't get the pre-main event without being a named fighter. Just like how the tall dude, they end up pushing him to the pre-main event, and
Mm-hmm.
he went from there. But the thing with Canelo is he doesn't fight against A, B, or C class fighters anymore. His fighters is D class, where he just gets in there, he just walks right through the opponent, and
Mm-hmm.
truthfully, it'd be like kind of boring to watch a fight like that. It's boring.
But
Yeah.
To that
Boxing's
point,
been
do you think
exciting
we're
lately though.
Hmm?
yeah, L, to that
Yeah.
point, do you
Mm-hmm.
think we're penalizing Canelo for basically going through better fighters from the at the start of his career to where right now it's like there's nobody left for real. So here's whoever we're throwing at you, and here's the payday that comes along with it. Are we kind of penalizing him for that, or do you think it's a matter of
Well, part of it's I don't know if it's we could penalize him for that, but part of the reason why he left De La Hoya because De La Hoya wasn't getting him the fighters, the quote unquote, he wasn't getting him the name fighters that he wanted to fight to solidify his legacy. And but then you leave him, and then you still doing the same thing. So what was the whole purpose of that? He used that as his leverage to say he wanted to get rid of De La Hoya. He wasn't properly promoting him the way he wanted to get promoted as far as the boxes. But he listen, he's the champ, right? And I'm quite sure everybody. I had plenty of people call him out, DSJ. Plenty of good fighters call him out. You got people can go up and down the weight, and he could do the same thing. He choose not to, so he chooses to stay where he at. And them fighters, because you either got to come up or you're going to go down. You got to go do either one, and it goes for everybody. So I mean, I hear a lot of people call him out. What you call them out? Say to fight him. Terrence Crawford. So you
yeah,
go
but I
figure on
think
that,
it's the same.
DSJ.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing though, especially when you looking at the fight that I think everybody saw the vulnerability in Canelo was that Mayweather fight. And I think ever since then, it's almost like sharks in the water. You know what I'm saying? And you just dropped the chunk because here it is where I'm looking at, oh, now there's a recipe to beat you. Because before it was a matter of, I can't get past Canelo's power. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
counterpunching and speed was the obvious thing. But you know what I'm saying? It's not only that, but there was a certain level of defense that Canelo had just off a natural instinct. You see that he actually got better with his instincts, with the training that he received
I love him as
under
I
De
love
La
him as a
Hoya.
fighter, but he just doesn't. What I'm saying, DSJ, as far as like the cash cow perspective goes, his fights is pretty much because he chooses not to fight the A class or the B class fighters. So I like his style as a fighter. It's not I'm not saying anything bad about him as a fighter. What I'm saying is he doesn't put on the performances that's noteworthy of paying pay per view. He doesn't fight the kind of opponent. I haven't seen him fight a quality opponent since Triple G. And of course,
Right.
he fought my man from Brooklyn. Uh man, pardon me from not remember his name. Daniel
Daniel
Jacobs.
Jacobs.
So he fought
Daniel
Daniel
Jacobs,
Jacobs.
yeah.
Daniel Jacobs wasn't even in his class. Daniel Jacobs was coming off he was better than uh the dude he fought Triple G. They didn't give him that win. Because again, styles make fight. That his style happened to be better than Triple G style, but they didn't give him that fight that night. Um,
Right.
but it could have went either way. But Daniel Jacobs is not on Canelo's level. Daniel Jacobs is a B minus fighter, maybe B plus on a good day fighter. You know, so again, that's back to them not having fights.
And see, even the fact that when you say that, right? When I saw the fight, I felt like Daniel Jacobs rose to the occasion to where, again, almost like how, you gear up for somebody, you know what I'm saying? You play up to your level of competition. You know what I'm saying? Normally you might be at a certain level, but when you see that this person is across the ring from you, I know I got to bring it. And I think he did a pretty good job of that. I think with the level of competition Canelo faces now, the problem is nobody's doing that. It's like a cakewalk. And again, it's like, Canelo, thanks for being great. You're ruining the sport of boxing because there's nobody. I don't want to watch it now. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like because he's so dominant. I don't really want to. It's almost like watching Duke play Austin P or something like that. Oh, that's what's on. Hey, what else is on? You know what I mean? Because you already know what the outcome is going to be from the jump. I don't need tip off. I don't need
think about it. We haven't seen a good Canelo fight in over 3 years, and I think it's credit to who they put in front of him because there's other fighters out there. There's other fighters. Like I said, Terrence Crawford just called him out. See, Terrence Crawford's problem is Top Rank held him back for so long, and it's a shame that a boxer.
Canelo?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, word.
So
that boy better slow down.
Said bring him on. He said bring him on. He said bring him on. He don't care who he fights. Bring him on.
Canelo probably, because the way he fought Porter, Canelo would have finished his icebox.
You're talking about the bigger fighters. That's why you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with that.
No, I'm trying to say, if the way he fought Porter, if he would have fought Canelo with that fight right there, I don't know if he would have came out of that one okay. And I like him, but
Styles always make fights. So,
but I gotta say to the credit of that point, right? I think the difference is the way Canelo fights and the way that Sean Porter fight, right? Canelo will walk you down, right? He's the type of person where he'll stalk you, as opposed to with Sean Porter. Sean Porter's kind of like a head first guy, where the moment the bell rings, he's coming across the ring flying. And I think that that could be a point of detriment too, because if you're a good counterpuncher, whatever you throw, whatever your speed is coming across the ring from me, I can find a way to measure it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's something as simple as a sidestep and hitting you with the right angle, or, you know what I'm saying, just a straight up you coming across the ring, I catch you where, you know what I'm saying, like a body shot, because your guard is going to be up guarding your head the entire time when you're coming at me. So there's a way to counter Sean Porter immediately, as opposed to with Canelo. Canelo, again, he's a stalker. So the way he comes across the ring, you have to hit the angle immediately, or else the power that he lands you with will have you slumped against the ropes and fighting against the corner a lot of times. So, I think that's the only difference when I look at Sean Porter, the way he fought, and, the way he normally fights. Because even the fact that he gave that same kind of issue with Keith Thurman when they fought, he came across the ring, you know what I'm saying, almost like a bat out of hell. And he gave fits because of that. Because both of them guys will walk you down. But I think it's a matter of the weight and the speed that they fight with. Canelo could be more dangerous because of that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: while we haven't seen the fight, you got the link up pack for cats.
Yeah. I got the link. It's pinned in the chat. I'm gonna put it back in the link.
Why we didn't see an Andre Ward Canelo fight before Andre Ward retired?
I think it's the age thing. I think it's ageism. You know what I'm saying? When you're at the last leg of your career, when you're struggling with fighters that you would normally have beaten.
Andre Ward?
Yeah. I think with him, he saw the right.
You better go look at them fights. Struggling.
No, I'm saying with the
a lot of them dudes was bigger than him. Was bigger than him. So for him to be in there, I can't remember homeboy name. Crusher.
Yeah.
Shout out Rome Paul Rock.
No, he was a fighter. I'm saying he
was bigger than Andre Ward. And see, Andre Ward, you gotta remember, like Andre Ward went through that middleweight The same thing Bernard Hopkins and them did. And I gotta respect when fighters do that. When they do that, everybody in it and the best man walk away with the title. That's dope to me. I think that's the dopest thing when you don't have fighters ducking each other. And for him to go through that, I think it was something 6. It was something 6, right, DSJ, where some of the fighters had to fight twice.
Right.
Had to fight twice in order to get, and then he happened to win all his. I know one of the Super 6. That was dope.
But again, that takes a toll on your body. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying as far as the struggle. It wasn't necessarily with the opponent, but I think just understanding your body and knowing that, okay, you know what? I might not be able to continue at this pace. And while you got guys that are up and coming, again, the level of competition changes. And I think it might have been where I can understand wanting to see a fight, but if you know, okay, damn, this guy might be able to get me out because it's, again, I'm struggling with, certain things, ageism, injuries, that could be a detriment to where I'm walking in there kind of one hand tied behind my back. So, respect to Andre Ward, because I always liked him as a fighter. SOG was one of my favorites. But I think when it came down to it, he understood, okay, well, you know what? If I can't give you the best performance, maybe it's best if I walk away.
That's what the chat talking about. Super 6?
The Super 6. Yeah, he looked good to me.
That's what the chat talking about. Yo, can I shout out the chat real quick? Let me shout out the chat.
Go
shout
ahead.
out Soulfinger, Rome Far Rock, Big SC. Who else is in there? Civilized was good. I already shouted out my guy Stephen Fox. Super Mass Lord. Super Smash Lord. Shout out him, Jay Boogie. My guy, Tone Wu, guarding the Knicks. You already know. All right, I just wanted to shout out the chat. Greg Castillo, we always showing love. He was shouting us out earlier on Freezy Show.
Yes,
we appreciate
sir. Yeah,
you, bro.
That's my guy.
Always coming through and always shouting us out when we not around, but we all around. So I caught you. Thanks a lot. Shout out to my guy, still Knicks fans, Ron, right? DSJ. Oh, DSJ is in here. I'm going all the way back in the chat. I made it that far. Oh yeah, shout out to my man Stafford Dawn. And I just want to shout out that great show we was on earlier, Al, Uncle Freezy. Going in on the Knicks. We about to go on our Knicks soon. We talk about other sports for a little while. Like, it seems so much fun because we still didn't talk about our Knicks, and we already having a good time talking about boxing. And that's why I be trying to stress that we find other stuff to talk about because we know about all different things. You know what I'm saying? We know more than basketball, y'all. All right? That's for all the listeners. We know more than basketball. My boy know baseball. We know boxing. We know football. You know what I'm saying? We know rap music.
Our football team didn't give us nothing to cheer about this year, so we haven't been talking about it. But we forget about everybody. We
don't worry, my Giants won me $100 though. My Giants won me $100 because they got 5 wins.
Not yet. They got to win. Yeah. They said 4. Ain't nothing guaranteed.
And he said they ain't got 4. You said 4, but we gonna make it 5.
I said 5. I'm on record with 5.
You said they couldn't get more than 4 wins. I remember that.
Oh, you said more than 4. Okay.
Yeah, more.
I knew the 4 was in there.
Okay.
Ooh, look at him. Look at him.
Thank you.
So that means you try to swindle me.
I might not be.
No, DSJ. That means he tried to swindle me with the OG bet if they could get more than like I'm thinking all I needed was 4. And when I get to that's why I ain't even say nothing. I'm glad I brought it up. So now I know.
I ain't making it up. Hey, I ain't making it up. Right. And it might just hold it might just hold up.
No, but see, I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because I was gonna say happy birthday, but now that you said that, give me my money after that next win. Yeah.
They gotta get it.
So we gonna all that shit. Yo, didn't I bring it up earlier? See, I was going to say
you did.
I thought I won already, but you're right. So I didn't win. It's not going to be on your birthday. My cash app is Cash William Jahar because they're going to win next game. Let's go, Giants. Let's go, Giants.
We're about to switch over to our next talk. I found this little clip. I'll play it real quick.
Scared money don't make no money.
You got a lot of money, man. Happy birthday. I wish you many more, man.
Give me the mic so I can take it on wood. Off on the natural sauce, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, beats on the swarm. Rain on your college ass disco dorm. For you to even touch my skill, you gotta go to one killer bee.
Don't
and
play
he
it
ain't
long.
gotta
They
kill
try to
now.
hit us with some other shit, right? Oh, that was a TikTok.
Yeah. It's facts.
We don't want to
We gotta
get.
be
We don't
smart
want to
about
get. We don't want to get that again.
We lost a nice show from the other night too. We lost a
Yeah,
nice
somebody
show.
We lost some content.
reported us to YouTube. Crazy.
That's what it was, Al. Somebody reported us. It wasn't like those people was watching our video. That's somebody reporting our content.
Yeah, I mean, you got people that get paid to do that. You know.
Oh yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Or people that just naturally haters, just wake up in the morning hating.
Hey, facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
that too. That was a dope show, man. That was a dope show, and I hate that we
no.
You know,
It's good though. We gonna have more of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tone Wu, me and Tone Wu was in the same building on the park together. So
oh god, yes.
We missed all that good footage. You know, we started talking about rap. We had Eddie come through. We started the conversation switched over to rap. So we were just poly. I hate when we poly like that. I hate when we poly like
Kent
that.
was there. That was a good show.
Kent,
We're gonna do it again. That was on a Friday, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, our freestyle Fridays always be lit.
Friday shows be lit. That's why I want to have another special guest coming up on Friday to make it even more lit or something, or just advertise Friday show. Tell all our people, yo, come in this time for real, just one time if you never came, and really have a dope show.
Come on the panel, Eaton. Ask a question.
Yeah, I got the link is pinned in the chat.
Basically planning on trying to invite like 3 just people to join the panel, like to make the panel 10. So we can just have a big panel on Friday, like, and talk sports, like everybody come through, like, you know what I mean? So we all should do that to try to make up for that show that they took down of ours and kind of like to get a 500 view and start us off going high up for the new year. You know what I'm saying? We gotta turn this up. We're gonna have a New Year's show. We're gonna drop, we're gonna light it up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be lit, man.
Right before we go into the Nick talk, right? Something was boiling up on Twitter, and it's something that I didn't know. Maybe DSJ knows more about it, but it seems like the NBA changed the basketball this year. They went back to the Wilson ball. They went back to the Wilson ball. So somebody brought up Julius Randle's stats compared to last year. Hold on, let me try to just pull it up right now. He's shooting
on the basketball now.
Last year, no. It's just something to point out. Last year he was shooting.
You give me a Spalding, whatever.
80. Last year he shot.
Yeah, we played rubber balls. Rubber basketballs.
Sorry, Hack. What you said?
No. I would say last year he shot 81% from the free throw. This year he's shooting 74%. Last year he shot 41% from the 3-point line. Now he's shooting 32%. You guys could make what you want to make out of it. I really don't look that big into it. It was just a topic that I saw on Twitter that was getting a lot of friction. So I figured, why not talk about it one time before we
That's somebody searching. Heck, we played with rubber balls. Your heart. Tell them about the times we used to play with the skid balls, the balls that used to have the strings hanging out of them, barely was bouncing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you even play with a ball that had a little titty on it. Come on.
That's a bad for somebody urban like Julius Randle. We all had to experience that. So I know he don't care about that stat. You know what I'm saying?
No, he don't play. They don't care about that.
He don't care about that stat. Even though it's a real one. I think the word pressure is more serious than the change of a basketball. Because if it's the same size, it's the same size. It's not a girl ball. So let's be clear. They have girl basketballs. It means, you know what I mean?
They do. It's smaller.
Yeah, the men ball was going through the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more pressure with the Julius Randle thing. And I know I was talking about it earlier. The more I talk about it, the more I think about how much pressure could be built off of trying to duplicate what he did last year. Now, is that an easy task? No, it's not. Because now people know that that's what you're trying to do and this is what you're known for. And if you only did that 1 year, they want to see if it's really real. If we talking about it on the podcast and in our own circles and stuff like that, we not the only people that feel this way. That's why I tried to stick up and say when Uncle Freezy was saying that earlier, that what are we talking about here? Because he has nobody to pass it to. And I feel like what I'm watching and what I'm seeing from the eye test that they playing good ball when they on, but when they not on, we saying don't pass it to them. Maybe the ball ain't moving the way that people are complaining. that could mess up the flow of the game. And you know why I think my point was that it could? When I brought up the bench. When I said the bench doesn't do that. So from the same team that's not even starters, that's the best way to make an example. Because these guys ain't even starters, but they playing better than y'all. Come on, son. That means that the coach and everybody making decisions is high on y'all.
Who said they need to watch the first unit? You need to watch the first unit. And that's who said they need to watch the first unit play ball. Who brought up that? Who said that? Like they need to watch the first unit. Somebody said they need to watch.
No, he didn't say that. I think my guy Mark said the first unit need to watch the second unit, and it's true. You know why? Because you know why it's true. Nah, it's not crazy because Julius Randle don't need to learn how to put the ball in the hoop from that unit. He needs to learn what they had to learn with just playing regular ball. No, it's intangibles. I've been saying this for a minute. So you got to understand, those guys don't have the luxury that Julius Randle has to make as many mistakes. So when they sitting there waiting to get right, they know they have to make a good play to stay on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And I say my great takes for our show. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm going to go off over there, but sometimes I just say stuff because I know it's too many opinions over there. You know what I'm saying? People ain't going to understand. People may, people don't. It don't matter to me. I feel how I feel. But the point I'm making is Julius Randle has to learn how to play, make the right decisions and the small plays that's needed in the all-star realm. You know what I'm saying? Like to know when it's your time to turn it on, when to make the right read or what they coming at you with. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is part of your job because he didn't figure that out yet because he never had to go through the team designing the scheme to stop him. You see what I'm saying? And that's messing him up because he's still trying to get his off. He's not really worried about his team. When you have to prove that you really could do this for real, that puts you in a spot now. You know what I'm saying? Where you between a rock and a hard place, bro. Because I gotta prove I'm really an all-star, but I really can't do that because the teams know what I have. And I said this early on. I said if he's smart enough just to make the right reads and not worry about the scoring, they still may recognize him because of the Knicks record and how good he turned the Knicks around. You know what I'm saying? But he chose to go back to that bully ball in the China, whatever they want to call it. And it's going back and forth from having confidence on his team and losing confidence on his team. But why does he lose confidence? Because he doesn't make the reads fast enough. In basketball, I tell my players, it's a small window you have to catch it when you're making a play or a decision. If you hold the ball, this is why people talk about holding the ball so much, because it was somebody open or somebody could have made a shot. But people saying, oh, they're not making shots because they're not used to him giving up the ball. If I'm on your team and you give it to me sometimes, I'm supposed to just always be ready though, right? Oh, all right. Then when I go back on D, I ain't playing the same D. I ain't playing the same D.
I don't understand. I can't buy them. See, to me personally, and shout out B Civilized. That's a good point, B Civilized. Put that up there, Heck. Where you at, Heck?
You can't buy them when the bench is doing it already. But I know what you about to say. The bench is doing it already. Go ahead, say it now.
No. It's like
say what you was gonna say. You can't buy them what?
You can't buy them.
What you was about to say?
I lost my train of thought that fast.
No, you did.
Got my guy Gregory backstage.
What's up, Greg? What's up, Greg?
G.
What I was gonna say though, Hard, is piggybacking off of what you were saying about the decision making. And these guys, I watched him. And when I watched him,
you don't think guys turn off. You don't think guys would disconnect, maybe. That's what you was gonna say, because I was saying that. Oh, they do. You agree with that? Okay.
They will disconnect.
Hell yeah, they human.
And then you can't always use numbers, right? And see, that's what Eaton's good at. He's great at that. He has the numbers. That's why I love when he be on the panels and he get to break down the numbers, because I also love the numbers thing. But sometimes we could do too much into looking into into the numbers where you miss the actual game that's being played in front of us.
Hey,
So
hey,
yeah,
Drew.
these
Thanks.
players.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. Drew, thanks for coming over from
Okay.
Twitter. Anytime you want to join the panel, my guy, is always the link is always in the chat. You can always come on.
Come on
Whenever
in.
you want to
Come
come
on
on,
in.
Drew. Just know.
Come on in. So yeah, they
Go ahead,
get
Al.
these guys be out there, and yeah, they may have a bad game or they may be struggling, but it's still that doesn't count for you to look that person off and he's wide open under the basket. I still can't buy that. There's no reason for you to go 1-on-3 against Brooklyn that night and turn that ball over when it was other players that the whole team was cooking at that point.
And that's
There was
why I
no
said
reason
that's
for
not
that
right
play.
to say that you can't pass the ball to somebody, because I knew you was gonna say something
You
like
turn
that,
it
because
over.
I said
You turn it
the
over,
second
and
unit. Look what
he
they
turned it over.
doing.
So what they said, oh, Randall not getting the calls. But I'm like, that's a bad
But
basketball
bro,
play anyway. It was 1-on-3. What are you
and
doing?
And you
And then
yo,
you
that's
get
the
mad
last
because you didn't
thing,
get the
man.
foul call.
And you see
Yo,
what
L,
suffers the most is our defense. If you rewatch this Denver Nugget game, there was at least 12 to 15 possessions that we decided to double team the paint or triple. We decided to do whatever, and we left guys open the entire game. The entire game, we left guys open to knock down those threes. You know, shout out to my guy Kent. He sent me like 3 or 4 clips on Instagram. I couldn't pull up. I couldn't get them, but it was horrible, man. Like our defense was just pure trash.
Yeah, you know what y'all guys don't see. I'm gonna pass it to Greg. He just came in. You know what y'all guys don't see that when you go to the game, you see Julius get beat. I'm not saying Julius because RJ gets beat, Mitch get beat, everybody get beat. But you see him out of everybody do the most finger pointing, and that's the part that don't stick with me personally. The numbers this, who else? He don't have a 1A, 1B, 1C. Yeah. We didn't have it last year, but he played differently last year than what he's playing now. So I just think he just need to get his shit together. So Randall, get your shit together, man. What's up, Greg?
What's up, man? You know I cover the Spurs, so we have an upcoming game against y'all, and I've been looking into the numbers and looking at things, and just wanted to bring up some things that are interesting. I think
Talk about it.
Go ahead, speak on it, Greg.
Out of centers that play 25 minutes or more, Mitchell Robinson's defensive rating is the 3rd worst. And Taj and Nerlens Noel rate higher than him defensively. So do you think it's partly because of, him coming back from injury in the offseason? And do you think how much of it is, the perimeter around him?
I would say is a bit of his injury, coming back from injury, and also as well having Kemba in the starting lineup and Fournier in the starting lineup early in the season, which had him stressing out himself. He's not in playable shape. Well, he's working his way back into getting into the same shape he was last year before he got injured. So when you asking him, a player who's coming back from injury, to extend himself and try to do more than what he's capable of, he's going to be lacking. So I figure it's a mixture of the both. What y'all think, DSJ?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. One, I agree, it's the injury. Still playing through conditioning and getting right. You know what I mean? The second part, I think, is the weight gain. The way he moves on the floor. He's not as fleet-footed as he used to be because, again, now you're packing on muscle. And I think, again, he sacrificed being able to protect the post for his ability to kind of react quickly on the floor and to the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? The way he was able to switch from last year up until now, you could see a difference. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was really the kind of the situation. You sacrifice one for the other. So while you're able to bang inside with the bodies, like a Joel Embiid, where you were able to give him fits, where you're able to, again, players like Valanciunas, when we played New Orleans, you were able to give those guys fits. But the games against Indiana, where Miles Turner's wide open for threes and knocks down 7 of those things, you know what I mean? The games where, again, just Saturday, Joker's 5 for 9 from 3, because, again, you put on that weight to battle inside. You didn't put on that weight to continue to be a threat to the perimeter offensive plays. So
he skipped
I think
leg day.
it's those two.
And to Greg, I think a lot of the question I got to ask is when they talk about that defensive rating is number one is Nerlens and Taj plays against backups.
Yeah.
So that also goes into that whole with the numbers. So I don't look at them numbers. We have to look at the numbers when them guys are starting. So Nerlens, he started a few games this season. I think he started 2 games or 3 games. So you have to look at his defensive ratings when there's them games. And more than likely, he's not asked to do the same thing that Mitch do. He's not asked to go out there and guard whatever the Valanciunas, whatever how you pronounce his name. He's not in the game. He's not he's not in the game to guard that person. Why? Because he can't. He can't. That's the truth. Nerlens can't guard him. We all know that. At least Mitch gives us a chance to be able to guard them. A lot of his problem is them guards was getting beat. When we played against Miles Turner went off that game. We was getting scorched from the guard position, like DSJ just said. But the second game we played them, Miles Turner was null and void. Didn't even I think he had a 3 in the fourth quarter or something like that because Mitch was actually able to stay with him around the perimeter. And our guards happened to have a good game that night. He kind of brought I don't know, I forgot who exactly was cooking that night. That game seemed like it was last year now, but all this so much drama going around this team right now. That game seemed like it was last year, but it was only last month. But it all depends on our guard play, so that has to change in order for Mitch to be able to do his thing. I don't feed too much into it. I really don't, Greg. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
Okay. No, everything that stats. You have to have context with stats. So I just thought it was an interesting stat, and I wanted to throw it to y'all and see what y'all thought about it.
Yeah, I don't dispute the stats. Definitely, I know because we see it. I just think that the guys that come off the bench, they playing against backups.
Hey,
so that
Greg,
we also got to
Foxy got a question for you, Greg. He says, "What's your thoughts on Luka Samanic from his times on the Spurs? Well, from his time on the Spurs, could he be a stretch 4 or 5, or what's your thoughts on him?"
Oh, so okay, Luka Samanic is basically our version of Knox, kind of a low motor guy that gets.
Oh man, you had.
I had to
Come
go.
on, Greg. Come on, Greg.
Keep it real. You gotta keep it real.
Come on, my God.
Sorry, guys. I hate the buzzer bubble. But when he gets
Foxy,
on the court,
you hear this, Foxy? Oh my God, Foxy, you hear this?
Go ahead.
I have inside knowledge that some things transpired off the court that had to do with his dismissal. But as far as he is a low motor guy, he. Like Knox, when he gets in the game, you see flash, and you're like, maybe this guy should get more minutes. And then for some reason, Tibbs doesn't play him. That was the same thing with Pop. There was something in practice he did not like about his effort and stuff. And then when sometimes he would play, and then you'd be like, is this guy going to be in Shanghai in the next couple of years? Like, God. So it's like maybe a new change of scenery is always the X factor. He looks a little more motivated on the court in the G League, but he's always put up big numbers in the G League. I think he's never really proven himself to be a 3-point shooter, but the G League numbers are kind of getting better, so maybe there's hope there. Mm-hmm. He has the mobility to play on the perimeter. Definitely, he's probably has better mobility than Lauri Markkanen.
Okay,
somewhere between Lauri Markkanen and Franz Wagner, as far as mobility wise. So he can play on the perimeter. He can switch. That was kind of the thought process about drafting him. Mm-hmm. In this new modern day, where everything has to be switched to play defense, pretty much.
Yeah.
That he could switch onto other guards and forwards and be okay. So he can do that. He showed defensive chops. It was, but sometimes he just lackadaisical. Sometimes he looks like he doesn't understand what's going on out there. But change of scenery. Hopefully I root for the kid. I hope he does well. I never, root for somebody's downfall or just because he's not on my team anymore that I'm going to be like, oh, no, he's like, I hope he does terrible. Mm-hmm. So maybe, but he does have to be he does well when he's the focus of the offense. When he's kind of like a role player, he tends to zone out the game. Mm. So, you want to get him. He does pretty well against the basket, back against the basket. I wish I would have seen him more. In San Antonio, we kind of used him as like a stretch big. Stretch 4, kind of the stretch the floor, and he kind of zoned out. So, but in the G League, I saw a lot of tape on him where he was good around the basket, and then he could get things going. He's really good. He could take big men off the dribble really easily. He's really mobile, so that's where he kind of excels too.
Okay.
So,
that's a great breakdown. Like Foxy just say, excellent analysis. Thanks for that. You know, when you said what you said, I felt and heard a collective cry from Knick fans. You know, when you said that, you heard Harwell chime in on it, but yeah, thanks for that, because a lot of people try to say, like with Dominic, you know, he was a victim of the COVID season, the season shutting early, and then last year, you know, not getting the proper opportunity or whatever. So hopefully, you know, he can go to another team and flourish. Hopefully it's with us, but the comparison to Kevin Knox literally just hurt.
And Pop and Tibbs are both the same as far as they don't believe in playing rookies. You know, we use the G League system. Every rookie we have goes to the G League first year. They don't ever really play with us the first year. And then he believes in what we call sweat equity. So you've got to prove it in practice, and then you're given a small role. And that small role you have to excel. And then you're given a slightly bigger role. You have to excel in that. And then finally you make it to probably the starting unit, and you've got to excel in that. So they're very mindset wise that he prefers the vets. So just like Tibbs, they have a similar way of coaching, very similar mindset in terms of what they want to do. And so something, like I said, like I've heard some things off the court happened, but it's mostly effort. He didn't really try as much, and Pop buried him on the bench. He didn't believe, like we were like, you know, like everybody else, like you Knicks fans are crying for Grimes, McBride, give us something.
Yeah.
Give us Sims. The Spurs fans were exactly the same. Give us Samanich. We were hoping that, you know, he could be that Marcus Morris kind of like stretch big that can switch on the threes, play the 3, the 4, maybe give you a little time at the 5 in that kind of vein. But it just never worked out for us, and we cut ties pretty early. So it was, you know, it's a rough, you never want to miss on draft picks, because that could set your franchise back, you know, a couple of years.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you guys headed out the park with, you know, with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker and stuff. It's kind of hard to replicate that, but but Pop, he's a great mind when it comes to basketball. You know, he got all my respect in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
he got my respect too. You know, my thing with Tibbs is that it's like we touched on it. And I don't want to keep on talking about the same thing or repeating myself as far as like the takes, but this offense has to get better, and you know, and part of the offense being better is you got to give other guys playing time to get better. You know, you got to be able to develop these players, and it can't just all end all be all with Randall and that's it, and everybody else suffering because we're not going to build as a team. When I see guys talking about a rebuild, you know, I don't agree with them, but I understand where they're coming from, how they're looking at this team, because you're not playing the youth, and I think we need to play the youth. Look around the league, you got these second and first year players, playing playing hard and in playing time, and then we're not getting it with on our team. Tibbs don't play these guys. You know, I think he need to play these guys more often. You know, so even if you got a guy that's cooking, or in the G League, a Deuce McBride that everybody's calling for, he's not going to play that guy. He's not going to give him no playing time. I think that's a disadvantage to us as fans and who's trying to build, and hopefully we can see a championship in our lifetime. I know I do. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want to see me a championship.
Yeah, Tibbs and Pop both don't believe in experimenting too much. They like to control the environment and focus on the variables that they can control. And they believe in building chemistry and synergy and pounding the same thing over and over because they believe it's going to work. And sometimes you know we cry out as fans, like there's some things obvious. Like this year, we were playing a third string big over Thad Young, who's been a great pro in the league and is a highly, impactful player. But because he wasn't part of our system, because this guy was, a hardworking guy that been part of our system forever. Pop trusted him and leaned on him like he was like our Taj. But like Taj is way better than Eubanks. So
Yeah.
And it was something obvious like, hey, play this guy over this guy, please. They're obviously a better player, but Pop was stubborn and tried to make it work. And as soon as we put Thad Young over Eubanks, we've seen that we've gotten on a little run here.
Thaddeus Young has always been a player that's always intrigued me, especially these past 3 years. He's always been somebody that he knows what his role is. He's a defensive player who can knock down the three if he's a little bit more consistent. But since we got the matchup tomorrow against you guys, we want to do a little breakdown real quick. Like, what are you looking for? Or how do you expect the game to go about? I know it's kind of like teeterish since we're Knicks fans, you're Spurs fans and stuff, but what is something that you want your team to hit the ground running with? Like, what's your top priority from the Spurs tomorrow?
Or do you think the Spurs is going to win?
It's on a back-to-back right now. We're playing the Suns. I'm watching right now. We're up 35-28. So it's on a back-to-back, and back-to-backs are notoriously hard for teams to win. We're a young team, so maybe we have better fresh legs. But as far as something I also saw that was interesting is in Tibbs' offense, and it's pretty much the Spurs' offense too, is that corner threes are very important. And last year, Reggie Bullock and RJ Barrett were shooting close to 45% from the corners.
Yeah.
Reggie Bullock is gone, and RJ Barrett is hitting about 25% from the corner three. And those are very important because we run the same, pretty much, we do the dribble handoff like y'all do with the bigs, to try to create, a crack, because we don't have a traditional point guard, and we don't have necessarily, an isolation player that DeMar is gone. So we don't have an isolation player that command a double team or command attention. So we have to go to this offense where we do dribble handoffs to create an advantage, or we do run a lot of high pick and roll, so we can get our players in a easy read system where basically when you're in the pick and roll, you pick off that man, and now the point guard has easy reads, right? It's either the big steps up and you drop it off to the roll man, or if the big hangs low, then you shoot the floater or go to the rim. And so it simplifies the offense for the point guard. So you'll see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of, passing the ball, cutting, like the same thing y'all see from your players. And it's important, like in our win streak right now, it's important for us to get out first. Like we have won the first quarter pretty going away in every team. We struggle the third quarter. Y'all struggle in the third quarter. I was looking at the stats. Your third quarter is very
horrible.
And our third quarter is very bad. So it's be interesting matchup with third quarters. We have two of the best defensive guards in the league. We're comparable to Caruso and Lonzo as far as defense.
Mm-hmm.
We have a better, we have Tibbs obviously and proper defensive first coaches. So we have the better defensive personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Vassell, we need to check it. I think Vassell's going to be out, so that's kind of a blow to us. He's a very important piece going forward, not only on our bench, but going forward for our future. And obviously it starts defensive first. We're one of the top teams in transition, so we get out and run because we're a young team. We're not really good in the half court. We're one of the worst half court offense teams. So we rely on turnovers. We're scoring about 20 points off of turnovers. So if you do turn over the ball or do, mishandle the ball, we're going to capitalize on it. During this run where we're 40-game winning streak, we played fast, but now we're playing slow. So I'm assuming that has to do with Derek White, one of our best players, was struggling. Like Julius Randle's way worse struggling than Julius.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's picked up his play. He's averaging about 20 points the last couple of games. So that will be, if he gets off and he gets going, then our offense is completely different. Right? So that's very important for us too. Pirtle stepped up. He's basically our Mitch. He's the top 3 defensive big at the rim. He's not good one-on-one, but he can defend the rim very well. And he's good. And in a pick and roll, he will finish. He'll shoot floaters. He's like Rashad Holmes a little bit. He'll shoot that floater. He'll finish on layups. So he's been coming through big for us. Keldon Johnson, after shooting 10% from 3 at the beginning of the league, he's shooting about 60%, 40% overall. But now he's in this time period, he's been shooting 60%. So you don't want to leave him open. Most teams leave him open because they don't think he can shoot. They know that he can drive. He's like RJ a little bit. That he'll drive on you, but he's not athletic enough to finish at the rim at a high rate. So it's almost better for him to shoot the three at this point. But our guards are our biggest strength. So if you're gonna have to stop them to be successful, they get
that looks like it's our biggest weakness, our guard position, our front court guard position. You know, when you look at the season, you guys are like functioning like a full running machine right now. The Knicks, we started off the season 7-3, but ever since then we have gone 4-9 since then, and it's just looked like a total disaster ever since then. So
Why
even if it's a
Why
back,
do you think that?
it's most things. It's beginning of the season. Sometimes it's a hit or miss because teams are coming together for the first time. So you may be able to catch teams sleeping, you know, or their offense may not be 100% thriving as a team together. It takes like 10, 20 games for teams to like get it going. And like Lonnie Green just said, egos. I think a lot of it had to do with the Kemba Walker signing. There was a lot of chit chat today on Twitter and different news outlet, different Knick fans, also different Knick channels were talking about it. It seems like James Dolan was a big pusher for this Kemba Walker situation for Kemba to come to the Garden, and James Dolan apparently is not happy with the Kemba Walker bench, with benching Kemba Walker, taking him out the rotation. You know, at first when you hear it, you're like, oh God, this can't be true. But then when you see the moves that was made, especially like Will, you brought up last episode, the whole jersey situation with giving Kemba that commercial, when we know that should have went to Julius. You know, he's our captain of our team. He was our main force of our team.
Jay Boogie actually said that.
Jay Boogie brought it up. Yeah. But I don't know, man.
Quick
that's a fact. I kind of agree.
Shout out to the chat real quick, Hard.
Yeah, shout out
Nick
to the
Dreams.
chat.
I think Nick Dreams could Nick Dreams be our old friend? Heck, I ain't gonna blow him up, but you know what I mean. He might be going under alias right now. Not our friend, but somebody. No. Somebody used to have a show.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Santana when he used to be on Raw
Shout out Lonnie Green, LG. I see you in the building. Brad was in the building. I see y'all guys.
Yeah, you right, Al.
Yes, it's me.
Al from the hood, he can sniff you out fast.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat.
He not gonna come on the show.
He not gonna come.
No, I'm talking about for anybody else. Yeah, not for him.
Oh, yeah.
What you mean? Santana?
Nah, not Santana.
Nah.
Yeah, that's Nick Dreams.
Also, I see that y'all are like a top 10 offensive rebounding team. We're one of the worst.
What was that, G? My fault. I didn't hear that.
Y'all are one of the better. I think y'all are 10th last time I checked on offensive rebounds, and we are susceptible to offensive rebounds. So I think if y'all can get extra chances, that would be beneficial for y'all.
Hey, that's something for us to hang our hat on. If there's any silver lining.
Yeah, we shot a lot of threes in the beginning of the season, and I just want to know why we go from that to where we at now. You know, we went from, like I say, top 5 hard to not mention it at all.
Yeah.
And our offense sucks. This is the most predictable offense I ever seen anybody ever run in basketball. The ball does not move. And we do get on Julius because when it hits him, sometimes it stops. But at the same token, it's not that it stops because you don't average 8-9 assists a game if the ball stops with you. So that's not always true. It's just in certain situations when you need the ball to move, it stops. I think that's a good way of putting it when it needs to move. My bro.
Santana, what it do?
Santana.
What's up, fellas, man? I know it's been a while, man.
Yeah, Santana.
Glad to see you, my
guy.
How you
been, bro?
Everything is good, man. I've been very busy, man. Sorry I haven't, kept up for a while, man. It's just work has been crazy for me. But, I'm glad you guys are rocking and doing your thing, man. So it's all good. I just figured let me pop in, say hello, and just chop it up a little bit with you guys.
Of course, baby. No
Good to see
need to
you, man. Good to see
apologize.
you.
We already know how that is.
Good to see you. Shout out. Nate just came in the building. I see you, Nate. Yeah, we miss Woodson. We miss
I
Woodson
gave the
too.
link in the WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? So
In the WhatsApp.
Santana.
Yeah, with Julius Randle average 5 assists.
Hope the family and everybody's doing well, Santana.
Oh yeah.
So what you think it is hard? Do you think that it
Thanks
just
for
sticks
coming,
with him?
Santana.
Thank you.
Do you think it sticks with him hard? Do you think the ball? Do you think it's keep passing the ball, hitting
No,
8-9 assists in the game, right?
no, that's what I said. Like, I said it earlier, right? I said I don't want people to judge him the wrong way because even when Jay Boogie, the other show, we talked about it, and I was saying that when I made the statement that I would trade him for a point guard, right? I only said that because the way we was winning when Obi was playing the position, because it was more like team basketball, we couldn't win with him by himself. And that's the point I like to always stress about our team when I say like stuff like, teams got 2 all-stars on it. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't have that, we barely have one if he only been an all-star one time. He's a one-time all-star. See what I'm saying? So we have to win with team basketball. So that's what I think the problem is. Do we need Julius Randle to still score what he does? Yes. If you're watching the game, he has to make the right reads at the right time.
Hold on. I'm so sorry, Harwell. I'm so sorry. I have a special guest in the back, Mr. Ron Cleveland.
What's going on, fellas?
Uncle
What's
Ron.
good, I gotta put my camera on for my guy.
Uncle Ron, what it do? He came in on the
what's going on, man? Delano Still Jr. What's going on with you?
My guy.
You gotta hit me, man. The number I got for you, man. It just go to voicemail. Hit me back.
Yeah, I got you. I was having some issues ever since that new update. You know what I mean? So
he must got the iPhone.
Listen, don't be making fun of us iPhone
users. This is a dope birthday. This is a dope birthday present for me.
I hear it all the time.
Man, how many you got on the books, El? How many, man?
4/5, baby. 4/5 today.
4/5, and I just hit 48 in October, man. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's
God
a
bless.
blessing, man. It's a blessing. Congratulations, boy. A lot of people ain't lived to see that long, man. You know what I mean? But I had to come through it. Hey, I be in the shadows, man. Trust me. I be in the shadows. I be watching. You know what I mean? But hey, I like being in the shadows again. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm loving what y'all doing, man. Definitely. I love what I'm hearing what y'all talking about too. With this whole New York Knicks situation, man. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Talk about it, Ron. Talk about it.
Man, the other day I talked about it on Freezy's show, man. I'm telling y'all honestly, I don't know when the next time we gonna win a game. That's how bad it's gotten right now. And until they address that point guard position, I'm with Hardwill, man. You know what I mean? That point guard is our major problem, man. It's the major problem. We don't have a starting point guard, and if anybody thinking Alex Burks is the answer at that starting point guard, they're crazy. Tom Thibodeau telling you right there. That's your problem. That's your problem, man. And we really, I think they dropped the bag, man. They really dropped the bag. They had the money to go get a point guard. They didn't get one. You know what I mean? This is a recurring theme with this team, man. And I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. We trash right now, and I hate it. I hate it. We are not a better team than what we was last year. And I just found out from research that your boy Tom Thibodeau was pushing for us to bring back Reggie Bullock. He was pushing the front office to bring him back. So Tom knew what was up, man. He knew the pulse of this team. Our defense regressed. You know what I mean? Even Julius said it the other night. We're not a defensive team. We're not even an offensive team. Ron? Say that again.
Julius
Randle said it the other day, man, that our defense have regressed. We're not a defensive team and we're not an offensive team. Right now, we're not even a team. We got a bunch of players but we're not a team. We're not playing team ball.
Captain Hook.
What's going on, Santana? Yeah, Captain Hook, I feel for him, man. But hey, until they address that point guard position, and from what I'm hearing, Damian Lillard want to come. He want to come, so they need to go ahead and do what they got to do, or even go ahead. When I was talking about Colin Sexton the other day, I don't know if y'all seen it. There's video footage of him working out right now since having that surgery on that knee. Like he's been cleared for contact. They need to do something fast, quick, in a hurry, or this season is going to be lost before it gets started good.
Something.
Yeah, we gotta
believe
do
it.
something. We gotta do it fast. We gotta do it. This offense sucks though, Ron. And this offense sucks. So it's the most predictable offense that we can ever have in all of the NBA. You know, it comes down, dribble, hand the ball off. Like if it's a quarterback handing it off to the running back and make something happen. And it's nothing to the offense. There's no ball movement. There's no slashing. There's no nothing. There's no off the ball screens. There's none of that. And it gives teams time to set up on their defense, you know, and that's the problem. So, and like Hard just said, we only got Julius, so teams get to focus on Julius, but we need him to score, because if he don't score, who else going to score for us? I know we won that game down in Atlanta. He had 8 points or something like that. But how many times you going to get games like that when we're going to win with him only scoring 8
I agree. And I'm going to tell you what else too, man. Everybody needs to stop trying to anoint RJ Barrett, man. That guy is inconsistent, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hurt people's feelings. He's inconsistent. Let's call it like it is. We Knicks fans, we watching the same thing. Don't try to put him and make him to be no star. He's not a star.
He had the cooties, Uncle Ron. He was sick.
Before that sickness.
Let me ask you a question, Ron.
That dude is up and down, man. That's who he is.
Ron, can I ask you a question?
Since he's been a Knick, he's up and down.
Ron, do you think that the coach or maybe Julius Randle, with what's going on, is hindering any of the young guys, like even RJ?
Nah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because through my research, when I throw stuff out there, I got some ammo behind it. Y'all don't know if y'all heard what Tom Thibodeau had to say about RJ Barrett. Did you catch the interview?
Yeah.
And remember, we talked about this, J Boogie. Everybody, we talked about this. We was like, yeah, it's easy to go to the gym when everything closed, but when everything opened back up, let's see your commitment to dedication. And Tom Thibodeau all but said it. He said, hey, you were shooting 40%, you were spending time in the gym. You got to get back to it. That ain't me, that's Tom talking. So Tom knows what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. When them everything opened back up, it was gonna test who really about that game, about making sure they're in that gym doing what they're supposed to do. Two of the worst cities to come to if you're an athlete is both of my teams I like are in the worst two party place that you could ever go. Miami and New York. Them two places will test what type of ball player you are.
LA too, there, Uncle Ron.
Yeah, and the third one, LA. Exactly. If you about that nightlife, those are the worst places to go.
Man. You heard it first from Ron, man, right here.
That's why J.R. Smith's best year was when he was in Cleveland, when everything closes at 10 o'clock at night.
Shout out Jay Boogie in the building.
He even said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's going on, Soul Finger?
Shout out to my man Soul Finger. Shout out Jay Boogie in the building.
I'm seeing right now on screen.
It's a family reunion.
Oh, that's an absolute fact,
yes,
Ron.
Who we
You know how much we miss you, Ron.
Shout out to
introducing.
Happy birthday to Worldwide L.
So L, y'all tell me.
I had to get in on
when
this.
y'all think we gonna win another game? Cricket.
Hey, Ron, you picked the perfect time to retire. Picked the perfect time to retire from YouTube.
Oh, man.
Yo, Ron, let me find out how you knew this shit was coming, man. Seriously.
Man. You had to see, you had to see how Jay Boogie was when we was watching that Hawk game. Yo, he was losing his mind the way how they was running that offense. Yo, Bugs was losing his mind. because you see it, and it's so. And they, like, so who put it in the chat? Somebody put it in the chat.
Okay.
Somebody put it in the chat.
It's
Be civilized. So
predictable.
they're not playing. They're not playing for each other. That's a key too. When
No,
the
they're
team's
Absolutely.
not playing,
Absolutely.
when the team,
This
when
team,
the,
they don't even look happy like they did last year, man.
no,
And I said that too, man. Like the energy, the effort level, when they got off to that 5-1 start, that was smoke and mirrors, man. You know what I mean? And to look at them how they playing, they're not committing on either side of the ball. They're not committing defensively, and they're not committing offensively as a team. Now, I tell you what, individually, Emmanuel Quickly is one of our better on-ball defenders.
Yep.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
he's developed. Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly has developed, and I'm shocked because I never thought I would see this out of Emmanuel Quickly.
Same.
And Obi Toppin is another one who's starting to take off. And Tom need to change that lineup and get him and Julius playing together. Keep them guys together, man, because you can see the chemistry between the two.
If you're gonna run,
Obi is our only player that cut to the basket.
Yeah, he moves without the ball constantly,
and that's part of
and he sprints down the floor too.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, he moves at all times.
If you're very much inclined to have Alex Burke be our starting point guard, there should be no excuse why Julius and Obi's not in the same lineup. If you're saying that you're playing somebody out of position, that makes no sense.
You can't gloss that one over, man. You got to say that one again. You made my skin crawl, man. You got to say that one again. I don't think they heard you.
I'm kind of nervous, Ryan. It's been a while since you've been around. I'm kind of nervous, but
hey, man, it's been a long time
you hit a nerve with me with that one when you said that, man.
It's true.
But it's true.
But we down that
if you're gonna
bad
play Alec Burke, you might as well put Julius and Obi in the same lineup together.
Yeah, you might as well. You got to shake it up if we're gonna do something, man. Because like you said, pace is one of the worst things we have with that starting lineup, man. Our pace is horrible, man. They move slower than molasses on a cold morning, man. A cold Alaskan morning at that, bro. It's horrible. But the second unit, they moving and shaking. They're moving the ball. They doing this and they doing that. You can see the flow of the game. The second unit runs like a ball team. They run with it's just straight consistency all the time. But then when you put the starting lineup in, it's like that. You know, when you're playing that record and that track, it's going good, and then hit that scratch, and it keep going back over that one thing. That's the starting lineup, man.
Boy, hey, that's a good one.
But you know why though? I'm gonna tell you why. It's because again, the strength of the game is different with the first and the second unit. If you look at the second unit, a lot of them, especially Derrick Rose, look at the fact that his game is about transition. From the moment that he stepped in the league, he's a transitional player. So you got other guys that are transitional players like Obi Toppin, to the effect of Nerlens Noel when he is playing in Philly. Alec Burks really was a kind of up and down player, especially with his time in Utah, and then even with his time in Golden State, as short as it was. He was one of those guys that was more about trying to get up and down to catch the ball, catch it in rhythm, and shoot the ball. So that was his game. That's how it was predicated. So when you got a lot of transitional guys, it makes sense to put them all together with the same unit, because now how do you stop all that when you got like 4 guys running at you? You know what I mean? And then you got guys where again, the strength of the offense with the first unit is the half court set. You know what I mean? I think that the fact that you saw it last season, that really was the strength of their game, because of the fact that the unit as a whole was half court players. You know what I mean? You look at Reggie Bullock in college, you know what I'm saying? A lot of it was predicated on being in a half court set. RJ Barrett is probably the only one that can kind of flow through transition, because of the fact that, again, he's a young player and knows how to move up and down the court, because the ball's usually in his hand from his time in high school.
I don't like him and Fournier together in that starting line.
That's what I was gonna say. Some people,
that's an accident.
It's suffering because they don't coexist. They don't coexist together good. And I think the bench is proving that if Quickly and Obi could do that, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that you could just tell players what they doing to do it. Some players just don't know how to do what, you know what I'm saying? Quickly going out there making a play, and he got good rapport with Obi. And that proves that if other players could build that same rapport, then we could have that same type of play. When you dissect and try to see why their lineup is not doing that, that's why I think we mentioned about how the ball isn't moving, and, you know,
that creates more problems of some people not hustling back or doing certain things. That's just a reality in basketball, and the bench is proving that because they all fighting for each other. Maybe because they sharing the sugar that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I make that point in that fashion, because that could be the only real problem. Because if the bench is playing better than your starters, they had to pick these guys to be starters because they better basketball players. So we're not comparing the basketball talent. We comparing who playing good as a unit together. That's what we really looking at. You know what I'm saying? And to me, if I had to pick, I would take the bench. Not if I had to pick individual players who's better, but who know how to play good basketball together. The bench was good. And somebody said it earlier, they need to watch what the bench is doing. We don't need to teach Julius Randle how to score. He's proved that he could do that. Now I think you need to see the little things that Obi had to do, because Obi don't have the luxury to make as many mistakes as Julius Randle does. You know what I mean? So when you're in that position and you have to make good plays, and if you mess up, go and make up for it right away, that's a different type of hustle and play that we need as Knicks. And that's what Knicks hang their hats on. And we haven't been seeing that from our starters.
You know what it looks like really with our starters is like they're resting on what they did from last year.
I don't know how.
This ain't last year.
It's like somebody shooting on you and you like, I got a gun in the house.
If anything, you would have thought the New York Knicks would have came out this season and was blitzing everybody after that embarrassment, the way they went out in that playoffs.
And see, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing, Ron.
Or you would think that Julius Randle would learn that he can't do it by himself and learn that he gonna have to get these guys involved early, like all-stars really do, or players who really go far in the playoffs do, right or wrong.
I think he was trying to do that, Will, but I think that it was a little bit, he didn't know when to do it or how to do it. I think
he's learning that right now.
Yeah, he's learning that now. He tried in the beginning of the season. That's why he was very hesitant when it came to scoring. But then when you have 2 or 3 or 4 possessions, when it doesn't work, and then you trying to force your game, and makes it look bad because now you're falling into the double team and to the triple team. Let the game flow naturally. Let your game flow naturally. He was a great point forward for us last year. This year is not the same thing. You know, we could put it to like the defense, because our team last year, our offense relied heavily on feeding off of the energy from how our defense was. You know, and this year, you look back that Denver Nugget game, it was horrible, the amount of people that were left open. You know, granted, we didn't get destroyed by 50 points like we did last year, but it was still horrible.
But
the problem if you notice, what kills the New York Knicks is ball movement. Any team that moves the ball a lot, they kill us.
All day.
You know what I mean?
All day.
And so don't be surprised tomorrow night. I don't want to bust nobody's bubble, but San Antonio
move their rocks.
Yeah, we're top 3 in moving assists.
And like you said, I mean, we lost it. Look, Denver, Denver beat us with a cat named after the cool jazz musician, man. Najee was giving us the business. He was hitting high notes with his saxophone out there, man, for the 3-point line.
He hit about 7 threes.
And he got that help deep.
I hate to say this, fellas, man, but I think the front office done set Tom up for failure, man.
Yeah.
Tom can't win with this roster.
Especially you hit my fault, Santana. I'll let you. Especially when you're hearing these crickets about James Dolan being involved this year. Last year, he stood away from the team. You know, granted, it was because of what was going on in the world, and also too, he got sick last year, so he had to, like, for his health reasons, stay away from the team. So the front office was able to run the team how they wanted to run it. But now he's more hands-on. And we have bad PTSD once we hear James Dolan is hands-on with making moves. Like, just go hang out with the Rangers, my guy. Leave us alone.
Yeah, nah, right.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's a sad day right now what I'm seeing, man. But hey, you know, we talked about that Lonzo deal. What's the biggest improvement for Chicago?
Yep,
that point guard position, and Magic was knocking down the door trying to tell us to go get him. You know what I mean? People was crying about, you don't want to give up that much for him. That guy is young, and you need a stud point guard. You don't have a stud point guard. You don't have a point guard. You don't have a quarterback, and you're not going to win like this.
That's what's important in this offense.
Last year, man, when Derrick Rose came in, and basically replaced Alfred Payton, the team got better. We got off that roller coaster. Right now, we ain't even on a roller coaster. We just losing.
Yeah,
See, this offense is predicated. Sorry, go ahead.
I think they put the keys in Julius Randle's hands too soon with the whole situation, if you ask me. Because when they drafted Obi, if they didn't believe, if they would have never drafted Obi, if that's the case, because we still need a point guard, honestly speaking. And Randle had one good year, and granted, he brought us back last season with that good season, but now I think he has to do it again to prove, because the scouting reports is out what he does, and certain things just made it harder for him. So my point, I'm not saying just give up on Randle because he brings something good to the team, but he has to learn how to completely be a winner. Like you were saying, heck, he didn't learn. He's in the process of learning how to make those right decisions because he's just figuring out how to have his own team and bring his team to the playoffs and stuff like that. So I feel like he just got to learn that part of it. And I would love to keep him as a Knick because I don't want to make it seem like he's not a good player. He just need to get it together if he's gonna have the keys. You know what I'm saying? I think we gave it to him too fast.
I'm gonna tell you this so hard. I think you'll see Randall's true benefit when we get a real point guard, if they can ever find one.
Facts. I agree with that.
If they would have been smart enough to go ahead and get Lonzo and pull that trigger, I don't care what Cleveland was asking. If they would have went and got him, him and Julius had already played together. You know what I mean? You would have saw a different Julius. You would have saw a different Knicks team, because that Chicago team, with the exception of getting Lonzo and getting your boy DeRozan, that team, and them other guys you got in there, them guys are good pieces, but that team don't fit without having an engine at that head. Mm-hmm. And Lonzo not only runs the offense, but the boy offense now is very good. He got a very good offensive game to go with his defensive game and knowing how to run an offense. The Knicks ain't had a point guard since Stephon Marbury, man. We ain't had a stud point guard since Stephon Marbury. Let that sink in.
Ron, I be yelling at Ron, point guard, point guard.
Sound like the Jets. We ain't had a quarterback in.
I've been yelling at Ron. We need a point guard.
Y'all ain't had a quarterback since Chad Pennington.
My question to y'all is: do you think Tibbs will change?
What'd you say?
Change the system. I said, my question to y'all is: do you think Tibbs will change his system? Because this system, much like the Spurs, predicated on a point guard like D Rose or Tony Parker that are able to get in the paint and put pressure at the rim, and not necessarily like a CP3 or Luka Doncic offense. It's basically predicated on a point guard that can get down and score at the rim, and then also a down low presence that can create an isolation that can pass out of the double team. We had Tim Duncan, we had DeMar DeRozan last year do that for us, and then also you've got to have pieces that pass the ball that are high IQ players. We had Manu Ginobili, we had Boris Diaw. Right now we have 2 point guards in our backcourt right now. Basically, we have auxiliary passing around it that are high IQ players that will cut. They'll make screens for one another. They'll move off the ball. They'll do a lot of things that's predicated on this system that you have to do on your own. There's no plays called. Only plays called are called for crucial situations when you need a bucket or at last second situations. Mostly it's predicated on everybody being high IQ, moving off the ball. And your point forward was DeMar, and now it's Randall for y'all making quick decisions and doing the right thing with the ball.
Jay Boogie
learned a lot over there.
Take the question, Jay Boog, and then throw it around afterwards. What do you think?
Said DeRozan learned a lot. What you think, Jay Boogie?
Hey, salute. 3 capital S's. Salute to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, doing what they're doing, you know what I'm saying. My man, Soul Finger number 12, my man DSJ, Hector to conduct himself, you know what I'm saying. To the visit of my man San Antonio coming over here, but I gotta use that San Antonio to salute and shout out to my man Santana, you know what I'm saying. The Hulk is in the building, man. I see it, man, you know what I'm saying. Will, you know what I'm saying. That's my brother right there, you know what I'm saying. The intelligent brother from the educated hood, you know what I'm saying. And happy born day to my brother, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Worldwide L, you know what I'm saying. And then my partner over there sitting up top, man. I gotta throw this out. You know what I'm saying? Capital M's, 3 little N's, and 3 little A's. The N definitely come after the K, representing the Knicks that we all love, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Orange and blue rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come up and hang up because I seen Santana and my man always but I personally, before I say anything about what you talking about, my man, all y'all brothers, you know what I'm saying, was there for me during my roughest time, you know what I'm saying, dealing with my physical sister being, you know what I'm saying, passed away, took it away from here, but I never had a chance to tell Santana, man, appreciate you, man. Everything that you was doing to me, talking to me through the chats, you wanted to do everything you could for me, and I haven't seen you since then, so I wanted to tell you personally why I had this moment. Thank you, man, for everything that you was doing through my roughest times, you know what I'm saying? But I think Tom really needs to go have a conversation with everybody in the office, man. That's just what I think. That's his first step. I think he need to do because when Tom came here, he was ready now player, and he got these guys ready and had confidence in himself and made them believe within themselves that they can do and they can achieve. Okay, with that happening, you know what I'm saying? I really didn't want all these other freshmen to come in on this team because he already had a rebuilding mode. And I think that we was already rebuilt when you talk about Quickly, RJ, Obi, and you talk about Mitch. It's all the way solidified. So what's next to do to bring the greatest talent that you can bring in here to help Julius become even better as a successor? With that not happening, and then you go back and bring in more young crops to join this team, that tells me that we're going all the way completely rebuild mode again if we're not bringing those guys in to replace guys and use some of these guys to go trade to get something to come in here because nobody's coming here. If you don't trade to go get somebody, nobody's coming here. Not now.
Say that again, Jay Boogie. Say that again.
Nobody is coming here.
That's why we got what we got, but go ahead.
Yeah, nobody's coming here. And another bad part about it was nobody to really come here during this past free agency. So if it was nobody to come here during that time, you know what I'm saying? The best thing for you to do is go back and bring back everybody that was good amongst this team and inside that locker room to the younger guys that we had. But you split the family up to bring in some guys that's not really family for this team. They don't fit. You went for a story with Kimber. It didn't work. You don't have that hardcore defense. When we ain't scoring, you have none of that. So if Tom can't get to his best identity, which is defense, you might as well get his young team up to my man Johnny on the side, man. You might as well. Because they don't took the team from Tom. It's all young.
Yeah.
You know, that's just
I agree.
Way I'm looking at it. If you don't want to believe in Tom and get the right people in him for him to win with, and you just want to continue on building through the draft, go ahead and give the team to a younger guy that can relate with the younger guys since everybody say Tom can't do it. That's just where I'm at. And besides that, I'm going to deal with any and everything that office do, whether I like it or don't like it, because I'm a diehard, loyal Knicks fan. Whatever they do that's going to upset me, I'm just going to deal with the pain. If anything look better than far as us going in the right direction, I'm happy. But right now, this team right here we got now is not better than last year's team, because last year's team, even though the records is pretty much the same, you could see them cooking and forming together and leading up to something. This year, team is not cooking. They're going further and further away from one another. That's the difference from last year and this year's team, man.
So did they sell us a wolf ticket?
You hit the nail on the head, man.
Did they sell us a wolf ticket?
Said with that front office. Tom, I think that everything you said, that was the biggest thing that I took away from that. He has to go talk to that front office. And there is reports about Damian Lillard. There's reports saying he wants New York. He does not want Philly. He does not want Philly. He want to go somewhere where he can have a team, where he can be his team.
You just can't be scared to pull the plugs. When it's time to do something, you need to go do it, no matter what, if you're trying to win now. You think Miami mad about cheating and losing them picks? You know what I'm saying? Nah. They ain't mad about nothing. They went and got what they wanted. Forget them other picks. They trying to win.
Yeah.
We're not making a necessary
That's like
move. We're not making a necessary moves for us to go ahead and try to win and go get players. Because like last year, we was worried about our draft picks and all that. Don't get this up. Don't get that up. Don't bring this person. He ain't worth this. He ain't worth that. And all we did in the draft was to trade further back. I mean, you know,
Yeah, man. Everything you said, you hit the nail on the head. You know what happened, man? Everybody in the East got better except for us. We regressed.
We was like, we got Leon Rose. We was like, we got Leon Rose. We gave them mad props thinking we was going to be in now because he was cool with players. I didn't see anything. They threw us Kemba Walker as a pump fake. You know what I mean? We got to call it spit. We got to call what we see.
Did we get? We got bamboozled.
And that really fell in our lap hard, Will.
We got bamboozled.
That wasn't a part of the plan. That just fell in our laps.
Yo, Ron, tell him I was cursing him out hard, and Ron, I tell you, we talked on the phone because we both was excited about getting Kimber because everybody felt like the Fournier signing was only going to be the same kind of team that we had last year. We didn't upgrade our team, and when we got Kimber, it seemed like that was going to be the answer. Finally, we'll have our floor general or somebody that can help us on the offensive
point guard.
Nah, you didn't hear what they were saying about Kimber. Kimber always was a scoring guard that never not saying he can't pass, but he wasn't the player that was a pass first. You know what I mean? Not saying we wouldn't want to Dame Lillard if he's not a pass first, but he's still in his prime. He's still young. Kemba Walker knees and why he didn't play at Boston. It was so many reasons why we knew that was red flags, bro. Now that we see how it played out, they hit us with a head fake, man. They threw something out there because they knew.
5 years too late. We got him 5 years too late, man.
Yeah, 5 years too late. They know they didn't give us nothing, and they try to throw us something to make us feel a little better about the situation. Fournier for all that bread, and then Kemba Walker was not good. We did not do good. Sorry.
And I'm gonna tell you, Jay Boogie hit on something the other day when he talked. He said, Jay Boogie said,
what you said, Santana?
The fact that Julius signed that contract for less money.
Yeah,
for less
he
money
took
for them to go out and get something. And all that stuff that was out there again, we just watch it. We just watch it go elsewhere. They
even down to the last
I gotta
play.
call it out, man. Hey, I was reserving judgment with the front office. I say, hey, I'm gonna give them time, but now I gotta be critical.
Right.
They did a terrible job, man. They straight up did a terrible job because really they didn't commit either way. If you think about it, yeah, you brought back some of the guys from last year, but then in the draft, you went and got a bunch of young players. So you ain't committing to either a young team or a veteran team. And that's part of the problem.
Somebody got something
they confused. No, they got confused with the Julius Randle situation. I'm telling you, because that threw them all the way off. That's why I brought it up earlier about them drafting Obi. It proved it. Because even in that draft, we could have had Halliburton. It was guards in that draft that turned out to be decent guards that we would have had running the point. The whole system would have looked different with some of them decent guards. I'm just saying. What you was going to say, Santana? I'm sorry. You didn't get a chance to say your piece.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump on what Jay Boogie alluded to, which is, okay, when we were looking to sign players, free agents over the summer, the top tier free agents didn't come to New York. They didn't want to come to New York. We ended up like
I think somebody watching YouTube or something like that. Heck, try to get
mute the mic.
Okay.
All right, Santana.
Okay, so you know,
it's all you, Santana. All you.
I feel the pressure now. I feel the pressure. Got the hook coming in. But basically, like Jay Boogie was saying, you know, the Knicks during the free agent period over the summer, all the top tier free agents didn't want to come to New York. We ended up with a Fournier by default. We ended up with Kemba Walker by default. We ended up with Kemba Walker because he got cut from OKC. So OKC is absorbing the bulk of his contract. We signed him to the bare minimum. And of course, that saved face for the Knicks franchise because they could say, okay, we signed, Kemba, we're bringing him back home. Not understanding that he isn't the Kemba Walker that he was in Charlotte. Because when he was in Boston, he was injury prone. And then, of course, now he's getting exposed defensively. So as a result of that, it doesn't help the team. The Fournier pick, yeah, he's a good offensive player, but he's streaky at best. And that's part of the problem. What we lose, what we gained with him, we lost with Bullock. Bullock was our one guy on this team that we can call our defensive stopper within the Knicks. I'm not saying he's a world-class defensive stopper like a Gary Payton or a guy like that, but he will take on all the biggest matchups, and he played the defense that we needed to be competitive. Now they put R.J. Barrett, and he's getting killed back door. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, they made moves that seem like, okay, they're going to help us offensively, but we regressed defensively. And then on top of that, the chemistry got compromised. And so now we're in a big, big mess. Because they got to make a move between now, December 15th, which is the next opportunity to make some moves, and obviously the next trading deadline in February to bring in some kind of defensive player to this team, because they got nobody right now that we can say, okay, who we going to have, who we're going to put on their best score. When Rubio comes into the Garden and roasts us for 30-something points, you know we got a problem. And then on top of that, in terms of Tibbs, unfortunately, Tibbs has been in a rut in terms of coaching and adjustments since the Atlanta series. He hasn't made adjustments defensively. Now, yes, I'm not going to kill him completely because some of this has to do with the front office and whether they're getting along, but he's got to take some level of responsibility. But I'm going to stop there because, there's too much in my head. I just wanted to just a little bit of Jay Book.
Hey, I enjoyed the class. I enjoyed the class, Captain. I enjoyed it. I was sitting back just listening and watching. You know what I mean?
If y'all allow me to, I want to ask y'all a question, man. And this is what I want to ask y'all. If no All-Stars is coming here as the ones that are injured, right? Who are we to turn away people that can come for a cheaper price? Instance. No All-Stars coming, we can't get nobody to come here, and we need a point guard. Who are we to say we not to go get Schroeder? I mean, I just don't understand that $5 million. Nobody's coming here. Why are we saying we don't want people that can help the team?
Well, initially the problem with Schroeder was he wanted more money.
Because at this point, Jay Boogie, we're gonna have to make a trade to get somebody. We're gonna have to give up. We're gonna have to get ready. Just get ready to give up something to get a person in here that can run this thing, man. They're gonna have to do that because even that Lonzo deal, Lonzo was supposed to be a Knick. The man wanted to come here. Even after the debacle with the trade deadline, he still wanted to come to the Knicks. We say we don't want you. Who are we? We had one good season in the last 10 years.
He never even sat down with the Knicks. That's why the Bulls got in trouble for talking to him. They had already had that deal done. He wanted to come to the Knicks, but there was reported there saying that the Knicks was not high on him. I mean, who are we, man? We ain't did nothing in 10 years. Yeah, as far as Schroeder goes, Schroeder wanted that bag. Schroeder wanted that bag.
He deserved every bit that he got to because he's a two-way player.
Who, Schroeder?
He just had bad games when he played against the Knicks for some reason.
Who, Schroeder?
but he's a two-way player, man. Tone Wu, what's going on with your partner?
What's up, Unc? I'm here. You already know what's going on, man.
Man, give your insight on this thing, man. I know you got something in the bag. What you got to say about this mess that's going on, man?
Can you woo?
Shout out my bro. Tone Wu came through and delivered this personally, Ron.
You already know.
Okay, I see you, boy. I see you. Worldwide
came through personally and delivered this.
But
How that hoodie fit, Tone Woo?
it's fitting real nice. It's hoodie
I'm a
season,
man of my word. Jay Boogie, I'm a man of my
fitting real
word. Didn't I
nice.
tell y'all I had y'all?
Man, you're a man. Man. Listen.
I still got your. I still got yours, Ron. I still got yours.
Okay.
I was just about to say Ron don't got his.
He'll have it soon.
I got yours,
I know you'll get it to me.
and I think Chop was the other one from that night.
Yeah, I still didn't get mine either.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice. It was nice. DSJ and Ron, Boogie, and Tone Woo. That's the ones who I got.
Facts. And Sean, I think it was Sean Cubes was in there too.
And you know what's crazy about it? It's so original that the dunk that he put on Mike and Horace is in reverse, and it looks like he's doing it with the right hand. It's completely different if you look at it.
Man.
Hey yo, yeah, let me give my take to your question. Listen, man. One name I've been screaming since last season, man. I think we need to just go ahead and be done with the Mitch experiment and go ahead or Noel and get Valanciunas up in here. I've been screaming Valanciunas since last season. I ain't gonna stop. I've been telling y'all nobody want to listen to me, so now you gonna listen now. That's how it's going. And then with that one, I don't know. I feel like we cursed at that one, man. I think we just go ahead and get a combo guard or something like Lillard, or I really want John Wall, to be honest, but only on a buyout, like J Boogie said. Nothing else, but you know what I mean? But I really want Valanciunas on this team. We need a center that can do both. No Noel,
Yeah,
no
I
Mitch.
agree with you,
We
man.
need somebody
I agree with
tough.
you. We can't handle no one-dimensional center, man.
Nah, I'm done with all this one-dimensional stuff. And RJ, I'm gonna be honest. That's why I disagree with you. That's the only take I disagree. I don't feel like he's trash. I just feel like he's in a slump right now.
No, I ain't calling him trash. I say he inconsistent.
He ain't, and that's because he ain't doing consistent things like somebody else said. The coach said he ain't been in that gym, so it's showing on that floor. So, but I like RJ. He's definitely our future, and we drafted him, so I ain't gonna give up on him. I'll give up Julius before I give up RJ. That's my take on that. Mic drop, and I'm swinging on to the next person.
Yeah, I ain't giving up on RJ yet, but I think with him, you can see clearly he loves playing with that second unit. RJ fit better with that second unit, man.
I like RJ a lot, bro.
That's because the second
he
unit
way better with that second unit than that first unit.
Ron,
the ball don't stick.
Second
I like
unit
that.
is running and the ball don't stick, and they playing for each other. You know what I mean? And that's just simple things that the starters need to do. I think. I thought it would be an easy fix, but you know, it keeps falling back on Julius' lap because he's the man of the team. And I think that just because he could put the ball in the hoop, this the second piece he got to get. Just playing in the flow with them guys. Like, get the bucket, come down. If it's not there, move it. That's what you got to do.
That's the game of basketball. You ain't got a shot, you need to move it.
Yeah.
Don't be holding the ball sticking. You helping the defense up.
Our second unit runs great.
You know what I mean? But I look at another thing with us, man. And I said this. Nerlens Noel, I'm glad you brought that up. I said this on Freezy Show, man. We're gonna regret that signing for Nerlens Noel. Because I watched this last game and I'm
Ron,
looking
you know
at
I didn't like
Noel.
that signing from the beginning. I told y'all that. Right? Santana, you remember me saying it? Ron, you remember? I didn't like that signing from the beginning.
Look at how he's running up the court, man. That guy can't even
I
put
said
his
and Fournier. I don't care how many threes he hit.
He can't
Fournier on ice.
I didn't like Fournier neither. But when we got Kimba, it kind of made the Fournier okay. And I'm like, listen, Fournier with this team, he fits with this team.
Excuses.
You know what I mean?
We do.
Fournier fits with this team.
We had to find an excuse when we said Fournier and Kimba played together. We were trying to find something good.
I know.
That was the silver lining in that situation. Them two played together.
The only
we did. That's what we used.
When you look at our team, right, you could pinpoint, you know, Ron brought it up earlier. We haven't had a solid point guard since Stephon Marbury on this team. You know, a lot of it has to do with where our team is located in New York City and our front office. You know, the malfeasance that the front office been doing for 20 years. But if you look at the point guards, the elite point guards in the league, they are in situations where they're allowed to develop. That can't happen here in New York City because everything is a fast pace. When you look at Chris Paul, Granted, Chris Paul is a different talent, but he was able to go to New Orleans and develop how he was able to develop. Imagine Stephen Curry, his early years and his injuries. If he was here with the Knicks early in his career, would he
We
be the
probably
same
traded
Stephen
him.
Curry? Exactly. We would have
Yeah,
gave
we
up
would've
on him. We
traded
would
him.
have packaged him. Who knows if Steph Curry would have been the Steph Curry that he is now? You know, so a lot of it has to go
That's
on
a
our
good
front
point, too.
office and on situation. Look at Dame Lillard also. Dame Lillard, we're talking about Dame. He's in Portland. He's in the perfect situation to fly under the radar. There's not that much pressure out there in Portland, you know. So if Dame was to come to New York City or was to go to Philadelphia where the lights are a lot brighter, will he be able to perform the same? You know, Russell Westbrook was in OKC. Perfect situation for him to fly under the radar, especially with the talent he had around him. You know, so sometimes it's just situation.
Yeah.
Heck, you know that.
You know what? Hey, Hector, that's why you remember when we was talking about all possible moves. Boogie, and the one move that would have got this team better than what it was last year, offensively and defensively, if the New York and Turner, your defense gets even better, and your offense get better from both of those positions. Because Turner, I'm sorry, I'm gonna bust somebody bubble in here. Mitchell Robinson will not be better than Miles Turner. Period. Let's stop with that. Mitchell Robinson is what Mitchell Robinson is. He don't have no offensive game, and I have a problem with that. And Brogdon, we know is a stud defensively at his position, and he can score. So you solve two things. You got offense, and then not to mention Turner can shoot the three. So he's more of a modern day big, but he still protect the rim. Always leading the league in block shots, top 2 or top 3. So it's an upgrade, and it would have been perfect for Tom Thibodeau. That was the move that the New York Knicks should have made. And we would be talking a whole different story with the team right now. I guarantee you won't see them Ferraris running up and down the court like they've been running through all. They driving them 1975. Hey, come on, man.
Shout out to the Hair Font podcast, my bro Steve in the building.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and dance, man. My little one, she up, man. I'm gonna let y'all go and do that thing. I'm still gonna be listening. And Worldwide L, I send you something, man. If you know something to cheer the fans up.
I send it to Heck. There you go. There you go, Jay. But we on it, baby. What you think we even doing? We on it.
We got it, J Boog. What's this called, Will? Podcast Records, Will? Right?
Podcast Records.
Yeah, y'all gotta go ahead and we gotta documentate that, man. But yo, I'm gonna let him out, man. My little one, she here, man.
Good to see you, Boogie. Good to see you, boy.
Boogie,
hey,
love
boy,
Boogie.
Keep coming outside, man. Keep in contact with us, man. Man, when you shut down, man, keep using our phones, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause we be looking to holler at you, man. We can't get in contact with you, man. You all out there. You know, we thought you went back to the military, man. You know, I get on you, man. Cause they get on me.
I leave that for my son, man. Them days for me is over with. You heard me?
Hey, man, God bless y'all, man. I talk to y'all great bit, man.
J Boogie.
Yeah, man.
Peace, J Boogie.
It's gonna get better. We just gonna have to be patient, man. We just gonna have to be patient. We gotta be realistic.
My little ones in here running wild, bro. I gotta get up off of here and put them to bed.
No problem.
Bro.
We about to close it up. We're gonna let Santana go first, give you pieces, and we're gonna let Ron close it out as well. So Santana, you haven't been on. I haven't seen you in a minute. Todo bien, BX all day. So just let it go. Let them know, and then throw it over to Ron so you can close us out.
Thank you, fellas. Yo, it was a pleasure, jumping in, for the little bit that I was able to get in. I'm gonna be watching you guys. I may pop in and out here and there. It's just that my schedule is so unpredictable, and that's why you guys haven't seen me in a minute. But I got a lot of love for you guys. I think what you guys are doing is great. Ron, it surprised me when you stepped away, but it's good to see you even, coming in every now and then. So, it's all good. And then, of course, my man, Worldwide L. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Put me in, coach.
Yes, sir.
And my man, Tony Wu. Will, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Gregory Castillo, it's a pleasure meeting you. Soulfinger, it's a pleasure getting to know you. And then Delano, the Man of Steel Jr., you know what it is, brother. You know, it's good. It's all good. And then my man, Project Nerd HQ. Que lo que, compadre?
maní.
Brother, take it away.
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If you ain't subscribed to For the Love of the Game, you gotta get there. You gotta get there. And I ain't talking about that whack song we be playing on Friday night at the Knicks Stadium. You know what I mean? At the arena. We ain't talking about that, man. You gotta get there. You gotta come to For the Love of the Game. My man Hardwell, Project Nerd HQ, my man Worldwide L. Man, hey, it's a good feeling. It's good times. You know what I mean? We struggling, but hey, you know what they say? Pressure make diamonds, man. That's what we trying to make down there in NYC.
Right.
Tone Wu, I see you, boy. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. Soul Finger, you know, we tapped the other day, Delano. Hey, we gonna get up. I'm gonna talk to you. You know what I mean? Castillo, hey, good meeting you, man. My man Santana. When I saw you on here, I said, oh my goodness, I had to pull up. You know what I mean? I had to pull up, man. It's been a long time. You know what I mean? But hey,
dope show.
Knicks family, Knicks worldwide, man. Hey, y'all keep doing your thing, man. Even CT Live, I see he got a program going. You know, everybody, man, keep doing your thing, man. We got to keep our head up. Trouble don't last always, and this thing here gonna shake itself loose one day. But once we get that point guard, Hardwell, we gonna be smiling. We get that point guard, we gonna be smiling. That's where it all starts at. You don't win in the league without a point guard. Bonafide, not no scrubs. And with that, we out. You heard me.
Gregory Castillo, thanks for coming on and being the coolest Spurs fan.
One last song, fellas. One last song before we leave. One last song.
One last one.
You gotta get your iPhone, bro. That Google phone's too low.
I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's coming through my headphones. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Yeah, we hear it.
We hear it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, gotta go because you can't play that.
Later, y'all.
Love y'all, man.
Love y'all. Yo, Gregory, thank you for coming, my guy. Always a pleasure with you, G.
Oh, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm really.
My bad, Soul Finger.
100.
Later.
I love y'all.
I have given it much thought. It seems disaster must come.
Monday, Wednesday,
At
and
best,
Friday.
only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men. We must expand, get more pupils, so that the knowledge will spread.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired.
We gotta lay cool.
We tired of being cool, man. Every time we turn around, you telling us to be cool. Shit, man, we tired. The same thing, be cool. We be too cool, we gonna lose.